Dr. B. Sadasivaya, Assistant Professor of Botany, Dr. BRR Government College, Jadchandla. Today, we are going to discuss about the classification system of Sir Bentham and Hooker. He is the person George Bentham, who born on 22nd September 1800 and died in 1884, 10 September. Sir Joseph Dalton Hooker, born on 30th June 1817 and died on December 10, 1911. So people think that always classification systems like Bentham and Hooker, England and Prandtl, they are very tough to deal with the students or to understand the systems. If you think logically, the classification systems are very easy to teach the students and also to understand ourselves. If you see here the left side photograph, here we can find the way, definitely if we think logically. The same way, right side you can see here is a web of a spider, giant wood spider from Nullabilize. You can see the link between one strain to another strain. So if you follow this strain-like system, that means one character to another character, it is very easy to understand the Bentham Hooker system of classification. It's a natural system of classification. Their classification is based on Epidicondale classification. They wrote, the George Bentham and Hooker wrote their classification in a book called Genera Plantarum, which is having 3 volumes. They started writing this book in 1863 and it was ended in 1885. That means almost 27 years or 30 years work. A monumental work with 3 volumes. They divided entire angiosperms into 3 classes. Again, the classes subdivided into 3 subclasses. Subclasses divided into series, and these series divided into 25 orders, and 25 orders divided into 202 families, and they were divided into 7,569 genera and 97,205 species. Friends, students, think about, for our practical purpose, we are collecting 25 or 30 specimens of herbarium, for which most of the students are going to buy the herbarium sheets, ready-made herbarium sheets, which are available in the bookstalls. They think about these 2 guys, George Bentham and Sir Joseph Dalton Hooker. They collected 97,205 species of angiosperms, and they described each and every taxon. That is the monumental work done by the Sir Joseph Dalton Hooker and Bentham. Now, this is the first page of Genera Plantarum, written by George Bentham and J.D. Hooker. Now, these angiosperms divided into 3 classes: dicotyledonate, gymnosperm and angiosperm and monocotyledonate. Here there is a major mistake done by the Bentham and Hooker. They kept a gymnosperm, which is not at all connected to angiosperms, in between the dicotyledonate and monocotyledonate. That is the major mistake done by the Hooker and Bentham. Now, Coming to the classes, the characteristic features of the class Dicotyledonea. The major characters: leaves with the reticulate venation and flowers with the pentamerous or heteromerous, rarely trimerous. Taproot system and cotyledons are two. This class Dicotyledonea divided into 3 subclasses, 14 series and 25 adders. Now you can see here reticulate venation, pentamerous flower 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pentamerous flower, trimerous flower, rarely tetramerous here and rarely trimerous here. 2 cotyledon leaves are here. These are the major identification characters of class Dicotyledonea. Then subclass Polypetalae. The characteristic features of Polypetalae are perianth in 2 whorls, petals free, or inner whorl of the perianth are free. These are the petals, they are free, which is having 3 series and 15 udders. The first series is Thalamiflorae. Here the flowers are hypogynous, thalamus elongated. Stamens and carpels are usually indefinite in number and also they are free. Here the disc is absent. Under this series there are 6 orders. Number 1 is Ranels, Perites, Polygalinae, Caryophyllinae, Guttiferates and Malvates. Which means the series Thalamiflorae starts with Ranels and ends with the Malvates. Under Ranels, stamens and carpels, many, they are free. Floral pods arranged spirally or cyclic or spirocyclic, which is very important character to identify the Ranels. Under this order, there are 9 families. The family starts with Anonaceae and then Nymphaeaceae and etc. Example for this order: Annona squamosa. Under Perites, carpels fused here, presentation parietal, which is very important character. And unilocular ovary is another important character. And 8 families were recognized in this order. Some of the examples of families: Brassicaceae, Caparidaceae, etc. Example taxon for this order is Clium viscosa. Under Polygalinae, here the major character is ovary syncarpus and 2 locular. Whereas in Perites, it is only unilocular. Here 2 locular. Only 4 families were recognized in this order. One is Polygala and Pitosperaceae. Example Polygala eriopter. Order Caryophyllinae. The main character here, the placentation is free central. Free central placentation is the main character of identification of Caryophyllinae. 4 families were recognized in this order. One is Caryophyllinae and one is Portulaca. Example for this, Portulaca ovalacea, which is very common in our areas. Under Guttiferates. Again, many stamens. Here the sepals are imbricate in nature. This is the identification characters. The 6 families were identified. One is Guttiferae, another one is example for this Dipterocarpaceae. Most of the trees are present in this Dipterocarpaceae and Guttiferae. Example for this Calophyllum, Ainophyllum. This belongs to Guttiferaceae or Clusiaceae. The special character of this plant is which is a dicot but showing monocot venation, that is parallel venation. Last order in the Thalamiflorae series, that is Malvates. Carpels number is here 3 to 8, but the placentation is axial placentation. many stamens, but most of the stamens are monothecous. The three families were recognized in this order: Malvaceae, Sterculiaceae, and Tiaceae. The well-known example, Hibiscus rosea sinensis. Then series 2 of subclass Polypetalae, that is disciflorae. The flowers are hypogynous, stamens in definite number, carpels are united in nature, and here the disc is present. Now we are seeing here this part is a disc. 4 orders were recognized. One is Geraniales, Celastrales, Volacales, and Sapindales. Coming to the order Geraniales. The leaves usually compound. Disc is well developed or reduced to glands or suppressed. Carpels many but united. Each and every locule having 1 to 2 pendulous ovules. If the placentation is again axile, 11 families were recognized in Geraniales. One of the examples, Meliaceae and Gyrofiliaceae. Example for these, Agile recta indica and Tribulus terrestris. Order Volacales. Androecium are diplostaminous. Ovules are pendulous. Diplostaminous means the stamens are arranged in 2 whorls. The outer whorl of the stamen are opposite to the sepals. 3 families were recognized: Volaceae, Illiciniaceae, and Caerliaceae. Example, Volax scanis, which is very common climber present in our nullifies. Next order, Celastrales. Here the stamens are haplostaminous, that means only single whorl. Ovules are erect. Single ovule per locule and they are erect. 4 families are present. Some of the example for these, Celastrales and Rhamnaceae. Example for this, Jujubas mareciana, which is very common. In Telugu it is known as Regu. Under Sapindales, leaves usually compound again. Androecium diplostaminous. Ovules ascending. 3 families were recognized: Sapindaceae, Anacardiaceae, and Sabiaceae. Example, Sapindus emarginatus, which is commonly known as soap nut tree. Ordinance anomaly, that means there are 2 families which are not fit into any orders, but they are belongs to Polypetalae subclass only. So, Coriaceae and Moringaceae, the 2 families, they are not fit into any order. Hence, they are kept under separate ordinance anomaly. Example, Moringa pterygosperma. Now, the series Calyciflora, the 3rd series of subclass Polypetalae. Here, the thalamus is a cup or saucer shaped that surrounds the ovary. Flowers generally perigynous or epigynous. Now, there are 5 orders were recognized in this series: Rosales, Midtails, Passiflorales, Phycoidales, and then Umbellales. Order Rosales. Stamens are indefinite in number. In generally, twice or more than petals. The placentation is very clear. It is a marginal placentation. That means the ovules are arranged at one place of the or one side of the locule. Example, Leguminosae and Rosaceae. Tephrosia purpurea is the common example for this. Here we are seeing Butea monosperma flower. Now we can see that the leguminous member, Tortillera retusa, can see all the ovules arranged at one place. This is marginal presentation. Now, adenine tails. Stamens are definite in number again, rarely indefinite, very rarely. Flowers, periar epigynous, but presentation is exile. There are 6 families were identified. Myrtaceae, Lythraceae are some of the examples, and Pseudium guva, that is guava fruit, is one of the examples for this. Under passiflorals, tendril climbers present in this order generally. Leaves often lobed. Stamens generally 5. Presentation is parietal. So 7 families were recognized. Out of 7, 2 are very common: Passifloraceae and Cucurbitaceae. Example for this, cucumber smell. Other umbellales. Inflorescence umbel. There is a major important character to identify the umbellales order. 3 families: Umbelliferae, Araliaceae and Coronaceae. Example, Coriandrum sativa. You can see this is Pimpinella tirupatiensis. You can see here. Pimpinella tirupatiensis. You can see the umbel inflorescence. Under Phycoides, perianth undifferentiated. There is no petals and no sepals. It is looks like one-eyed shape. In some of the families, it is single whorled. Presentation is exile or basal presentation. 2 families were identified. One is Cactaceae and then another one is Phycoides. Opuntia gillini, Chrysanthema portulacastrum are the best examples. You can see this is a Mullugo pentaphylla and then Chrysanthema portulacastrum. With this, subclass Polypetala is over. Now coming to the another subclass, Gamopetalae. Perianth in 2 whorls, but petals are united here. Stamens are epipetalous. You can see 5 and then they are attached at the base. All these are attached petals, fused petals. Now, series, there are 3 series here. One is inferae, the other one is heteromerae, and the other one is bicarpellate. Series inferae, ovary inferior. Stamens as many as corolla lobes are fewer. There are 3 orders present in this one: rubiales, asteres, and campaniales. Under rubiales, stamens epipetalous, anthers distinct. Ovary 2 to many locular, locule 1 to many ovate. 2 families are present in this rubiales. One is rubiaceae and then other one is caprifoliaceae. Example, Hediotis pudorula. You can see here another example for this rubiaceae member, Adena cardifolia or Aldenia cardifolia. This is Hediotis and this is Tamilnadia uliginosa. Now, other asteroids. Stamens epipetalous again, anthers distinct or united. Ovary unilocular, 1 lobule. 4 families: Valerineaceae, asteroids are the example. Tridax procumbens is the example taxon. You can see Tridax procumbens here and Echinops echinatus here. Other companions. Stamens not epipetalous here. Ovary 2 to 6 locular, mini ovule. 3 families: Stylidaceae, Goodeniaceae, Goodenoiaceae, Campaniales. Example, Wahlenbergia erecta. Series heteromery. Ovary superior, carpels more than 2, stamens epipetalous, are free from the petals, but equal to the number of petals, or double, or infinite. Orders 3, Ericales, Primulales, and then Ebenales. This is Wahlenbergia erecta, belongs to another Wahlenbergias. Under Ericales, stamens equals to petals are twice. 6 families, Ericaceae and Monotropaceae. Example for this, Galtheria fragmentissima. Under Primulales, stamens as many as corolla lobes are many, at ovary unilocular. 3 families, Plumbaginaceae, Primulaceae, and Messinaceae. Example, Plumbago zelandii. Under Ebenales, stamens as many as corolla lobes are many, ovary 2 to unilocular. 3 families were identified in this order: Sapotaceae, Ebenaceae, and Styraceae. Example, Manilcara sapota. You can see this is Diospyros melanoxylon, which is commonly known as Tuniki or Bediaco. Belongs to the family Ebenaceae. The third series of Gammopetalae, bicarpellate. Ovary superior, carpel number 2. Stamens as many as corolla lobes are fewer, but alternate with the petals. There are 4 orders: gentianales, polymoniales, personales, and then labiales. Coming down to gentianales. Flowers actinomorphic, leaves opposite. 6 families were identified in this. Some examples: Apocynes and Asclepiades. Example, taxon Catranthus roseus and Calotropis procera. This is Catranthus roseus and Calotropis gigantea. Under polymoniales, flowers actinomorphic again, ovary 1 to 5 locular, leaves alternate. 5 families, Convolvulaceae and Solanaceae. Examples, Evalvulus salsinaris and Datura metal. You can see here Evalvulus salsinaris with the blue flowers and also white flower. This is Datura metal. Under personales, flowers zygomorphic, corolla often 2-lip, posterior stamen often reduced to a stamen. Stamen generally 4, didynamous. 8 families, for example, Bignoniaceae and Acanthaceae. Example, taxa, Spathodia campanulata or Borligia cristata. You can see here, these are the examples for other personals. Lamiales. Corolla usually 2-lipped, stamens 4 or 2, posterior stamens reduced, ovules 4. 4 families were recognized. 2 of the examples here, Lamiaceae and Verbenaceae. Example, taxa Leucas aspera and Lantana camara. You can see here Leucas aspera and then Lantana camara. Gang Vitex, another one is Plactanthus. Again, one family here, Plantaginaceae, that is under Artinus anamni. Plantago ovate. The subclass, the third subclass, Monoclamidae. Perianthine 2 oral are sometimes absent, or petali. The series, which is having 8 series and then no orders here. One of the example here, Curvembriae or unisexuals and unisexuals. Series Curvembriae, the one best example character here Important character, embryo is curved enough. Placentation is basal placentation and unilateral ovary. 7 families were recognized in the series curve embryo. There are no orders here. Amaranthus and the Nyctaceae are the examples. Dysdera muricata and then Boerhaavia diffuse are the examples. This is another examples for this. Damphreena globose are this one, and then Comicarpus chienensis. Boerhaavia diffusa. Series multi-ovulata aquatic. Here the submerged aquatic helps are present. Ovary, syncarpus and many ovulata. Only one family, Podostemens, which is very small family. The plants also very minute. Examples, Podostemans species. Series multi-ovulated terrestrial helps are present here. Ovary, syncarpus, but many ovary. 3 families were recognized: Nepenthes, Cytinaceae, and then Aristolochiaceae. Example, Nepenthes cassiana, and then Aristolochia indica. Series microembryo, embryo minute, ovary, syncarpus or apocarpus with single ovary. 4 families were identified. Some of the examples here: Piperaceae, Chloranthaceae. Example, Piper nigra. Series Daphnes. Ovary monocarpellary, perianth sepaloid, perigynous flowers are present. 5 families: Laraceae and Proteaceae are the examples. Grevillea robusta from Proteaceae. Series Aclamidosporae, ovary unilocular, ovules undifferentiated. 3 families are present: Loranthaceae, Santalaceae and Bellophores. Example, Santalum album. The last series, unisexuals. Flowers unisexual in nature. That means male and female flowers are different or separate. Perianth present or maybe absent. 9 families are present. Some of the examples here: Euphorbacea and Casuarinaceae. Example, taxa, Euphorbia hilta, Phyllanthus amarus. The Croton bonprondianum, and then Jitrophaga cipifolia, Surrogate angustifolia. 4 families were kept under Ardennes anomaly. Some of the examples: Ceratophyllaceae. Example, taxa, Ceratophyllum. Now the class Gymnospermae. Here the major important character: seeds are open, not enclosed in ovary. No series, no orders, only 3 families were there: Nyctaceae, Coniferaceae and then Cycadaceae. And these Cycas originalis, Cycas betomim female, Cycas betomim male. And Nitamula again, class Monocotyledone. Leaf venation is parallel, flowers trimerous or reduced. Fibrous root system contains only 1. No subclasses, no orders, only 7 series are present. Here you can see parallel venation here: 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3 trimerous flowers. Fibrous root system and then single cotyledon is present. These are some of the best examples for monocots. Series Microspermae. The inner perianth lobes are petaloid, ovary inferior, ovules numerous and then minute dust-like structures. 3 families: Hydrocaritaceae, Orchidaceae and then Burmaniaceae. Example, Vanda tessellata. You can see Vanda tessellata from Orchidaceae. Series Epigynae. Perianth biseriate, inner petaloid, ovules large, few to many. 7 families. Example, Dioscoriaceae and Iridaceae. Dioscorea bulbifera, Crocus sativus. This is Dioscorea bulbifera. Series coronariae, ovary free or superior, seeds albuminous. 8 families are present in this series. Commillaneae and Liliaceae are the examples. Commillaneae, bengalensis and aloe vera. Series Calycinae. Perianth biseeded again, supplied, rigid on herbaceous, ovary superior. 3 families were recognized. One is Flagellariaceae, Juncaceae, and then palm. Example, Cocos nucifera belongs to the palm or Aracaceae. Series Nudiflorae. Perianth absent or reduced, albuminous seeds. 5 families. Some of the examples here, Typhaceae and Lemnis. Example, Typha angustata lemna species. Series Apocarpae. Carpels 1 or more, Apocarpus, exalbuminous seeds. 3 families, Triiridaceae, Alismataceae. Example, Limnophyton obtusifolium belongs to the family Alismataceae. Last series, Glumaceae. Flowers minute, subtended by bracts or glumes. Perianth reduced or absent. Ovary 1 ovule. Example family, Cyperaceae and Poaceae. Brachyria ramosa or Elysian coracana. You can see the spikelet here. They are the subtended glumes. Florcules, perianth, reduced perianth. These are the all glumes and other spikelet structures. This is the entire Bentham Hooker system of classification. You can see plant kingdom divided into cryptogam and phanerogams. Phanerogams again divided into dicotyledonate, gymnosperms and monocots. Dicotyledonate, which is having 3 subclasses: Polypetalae, Gamopetalae and Monoclamidae. There are no subclasses in the class gymnosperms and monocotyledonate. Again, Polypetalae, which is having series Thalamiflorae, Disciflorae, Calciflorae, and then series in Gamopetalae, Inferea, Heteromeria, Bicarpellate, and Monoclamidae. There are 7 now series are present: Carvambriato and then Unisexuals. There are 7 series present in the monocotyledons: Macrospermato, Glumaceae. This is the information for us.